And there is the buzzer to ring things in on this men's B division contest here between the Kamloops Rivershore Kings and the BC Blackhawks here at Frank Crane Arena. Hi, I'm Lorenzo Jensen, and I'm joined by our cameraman Nathan, as well as our official scorekeep Alum, and happy to have you here on this beautiful day here in Nanaimo, BC. 20 degrees outside, 69 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's pretty good temperature. I'm sure that these players, especially from Kamloops, the Rivershore Kings, they've had their fair share of hot games in the rink there at Rivershore. And we are underway here. First possession belongs to the Kings. Working off the near side. Pass through. Didn't make it. Blackhawks with possession now, just inside the blue. Upal. Stick handles, a left shooting forward, has a look. He's got Hanger right in front who gets a shot away, and that's off of the left shoulder of the goaltender. Makes that stop. Blake Dancock, he's in goal. And Brandon Bondy at the other end of the rink. Yet to see action, but you can almost be assured he will. There's a big slapper, and it rings off the glass as Paul got all of that one. That one's fired high on the glove side. From the corner, the Blackhawks looking pretty structured here so far. Paul looking for some room, but he can't stick handle through that maze. Pass makes it through to Hayes. A little bit of stick handling. In front, there's a chance on goal, and it's stopped, a short side chance. And Brandon Bondy making his first touch of the game. We'll get full line change here from the BC Blackhawks. Face off over to Bondy's right. There's a shot that deflects out of play, and you could hear some of the crowd here ooh and ah as that one took a deflection and went zipping through the air. They'll do another face-off here over to Bondy's right as he readjusts his right pad and gets set for the face-off. That's won by the Kings. Go D to D. Mark Haynes, there's sent in high, just out of play as it gets caught up and then netting up in to the goaltender's left over his shoulder, so they'll bring in a new ball here. And they'll go for another face-off here once again from the same location. The Kings towards the goal on that face-off win by Connor Milburn. From now behind the goal, trying to center it, looking out in front, trying to hook up with Regan Milburn. As Connor and Regan get things going here for the Kings, but the BC Blackhawks with possession. Oh, there's a nice between the legs pass. Shot on goal, that's off of the left pad. Almick getting a shot there. And testing the goaltender. Pooney tried to force the issue there, but now here's a 2-on-1 developing off of the wing. Oh, and a good swipe at the last second. Gets it off of Cole Senum's stick. Goaltender watches in behind him as the ball goes up in the air. And they'll work it D to D. Of course, the BC Blackhawks, they've already secured first spot in their division. And this game is basically purely aesthetic from their standpoint, but a great opportunity to work on a number of things here heading into the semis. Bright and early tomorrow morning, not a lot of reset time, but they'll have some. Pooney on the backhand looking for Tyson Rye in behind the goal, but that one's out of his reach, and now the Kings work it up the left side of the floor. Tried to play it ahead, it took a deflection, and now Pooney once again, sending it cross floor. And Rye will be the lone forechecker. He's in on top of Jaden Russell. Jaden Russell working it across to Brennan Krauscher. And there's Favaro now. Goes between the legs of Krauscher and takes it in deep down below the goal line. Spinorama pass. Took a deflection, but the Kings doing good work. And Krauscher gets control back. Looks like Rye's going to head off the floor for a change here. And now the Kings with a bit of a free outlet here. And I don't know how that one rolled off, but there's a chance. Pooney moving in. Ball was loose for a moment. But Daryl Sador getting it forward. Gets a chance at the ball. Tries to pull it inside. Plays it back. Wind up. There's the fire, and it went off of the post. I don't know if the goaltender got a small piece of it. Bondy looked like maybe his trapper caught a piece, but it definitely hit right up at the top crossbar and goes way up out of play. And they'll get another ball, get that ball thrown back in. Thank you, one of the fans that stepped out and returned the ball over the glass for another face-off over to Bondy's right, I would believe. The referees are conferring right now, and I think the question is, was the ball touched? Was there a partial touch from Bondy? It was very inconclusive from up here. It happened so fast. It was a huge windup, and they're just going to have to decide. There is quite a discussion there up in the high slot area, but it looks like they've opted yes to return. See if I can overhear what the one official tells the timekeep here. Probably to do with the running of the clock during that discussion. Possession now for the Kings. There's a spin around pass from Evan Clark into the corner on the give and go. Gets to the front. Clark with the backhand, and that one deflects wide to the corner. Dylan Sador plays it to the point. Now it's moved down into the corner, but that's just out of the reach of Andrew Fisher. So now the BC Blackhawks with possession. And for all intents and purposes, the Kings as well. I think it's the Moonshiners that are trying to catch them, but I was speaking with them before the game, and I don't think that there's any way possible that the Moonshiners can catch up here to the Kings. So with this game, a good flex opportunity. There's a shot on goal and a good look at the other team's abilities here. Ball is taken wide. Hayden Weeb has a look. One activating in the slot, and he does send it there, but out of the reach of Jaden Grant. A little bit of delay in behind the goal as the forecheck is in deep. Hayden Weeb in front of the goal, but a nice outlet by the Blackhawks, and now they've got a little bit of room here on the near side to work with. Hare wanted the ball, but it goes cross court for Upal. Upal tried an aerial pass, but that was well cut out by Hayden Weeb. And now it's center. There's a good little delay before feeding Hare into the middle, and an outstretched stick of Chakrabarta, unable to reach that hard pass, but Rye is back in his own zone. Carefully out in front of his own goal between the hash marks, feeds it in to Opal. Race for the ball with Tristan Allen. Allen got there first, then he'll play it up along the dasher to the near side, and the Kings looking for an outlet up the wall, and they find it. Mark Haynes had the ball for a minute. Now it's played to Upal. Snaps it, shoots, and he didn't miss by much. Chakrabarta sending it through to the other side, and he had a crack on goal. He was hoping to catch the goaltender out of position, trying to make that first stop on Upal. Still scoreless here. There's a shot in the slot, and that one was blocked by Rye as he got the body in front. Played into the corner by Harrison Ewert. Ewert plays pass on the point with Tristan Allen. Allen sending it across the floor. Cole sent him. Wanted to send it through to Haynes. Haynes still waiting at the blue, but activating on the near side. Tristan Allen. Ball was deflected, but he has possession again. Tried to move it to the middle of the goal. That's battled away by Rye, and now up off of the boards. Haynes through the middle. That's a good pass. Shot by Senum. There's the rebound, but Rye clears it to the corner. Once again, Senum from the shot. Scores! And he puts it just underneath the glove, low side. And Cole Senum, with some good forechecking, helps break this scoreless tie as he rips it from just up above the right face-off dot and underneath the glove of Brandon Bondi. And with 5:40 to go in the first period, the game's first goal has been scored, and it belongs to the Kings. Face-off win by the Rivershore Kings, and they have possession now. Going for a stick handle here, Brennan Krauscher. And the 1-2 pass was a little bit high from center and goes out of play. And it'll be ball into play for the BC Blackhawks just outside of the blue line here. Try and get entry on this near side. There's Favaro, takes the draw, but it's won by the Rivershore Kings, and Kamloops once again going high. A couple of players with grins on their faces as I think that was Andrew Fisher that sent it high for the Kings, but that will bring a face-off in their zone. And it'll be over to the left of goaltender Blake Tancock. Kings win the draw, and a feed on the near side finds Regan Milburn. Milburn stops up, shoots, and the defender's stick went flying. Pooney managed to slow that thing down, and his goaltender got the rest of it. And the Blackhawks going for a little bit of a run. Upal finds Carter on the near side. Carter, high slot. Good defensive play by the Kings. And in particular, Jaden Russell with a strong play breaks that up, and he sends the Rivershore Kings back onto the attack. Nice backhand pass to the point. Towards the goal, Brennan Krauscher. Wanted to go low, but that's broken up. Caden Sadra-Kang played it behind his own goal and might get a return feed here soon, but actually they decide to go to the right side. But they're being watched pretty closely here, and they're going to have a tough outlet. Tried for a quick jam there, did Sadra-Kang, but it's turned over. There's a wrist shot, glove save. And Bondi was in good position. He could see that that was possibly coming, having a little bit of difficulty working it out of their own end. Sadra-Kang off of the wall to Pooney. He's got Rye with him. It's a 2-on-2 situation. And that's broken up neatly by the Kings' defense. Partial change in effect. Shot off of the goal stick. Kings are first there, but Rye pokes it free to Pooney. There's one in the high slot. That's Hare. Tried to feed it to him, but they just couldn't get past the back check of Connor Milburn, who helps break that one up. Sadra-Kang, Hare. Ill-timed pass, and once again the Kings have possession on the near side wall towards the goal, and that's easily stopped. Bondi just wants to keep it in play. Here's the bench calling for that. Little under 3 minutes to go. Opening stanza here at the Frank Crane. It's a 1-0 lead for the Kings. The Kamloops Rivershore Kings with possession too, working down the far side. Jaden Grant finds the point and shot, scores, and the water bottle pops up a little bit as Andrew Fisher lets that blast go, and Fisher notches one past Bondi, and it's now a 2-0 lead for the Kamloops Rivershore Kings. And something pretty incredible that Alum pointed out to me prior to the game was that if you look on the score sheet there, you can see Logan Stankoven, his name up there on the roster sheet, and I kid you not. So the Carolina Hurricane star from Kamloops, BC, and he played some solid ball hockey in his day. You can bet your bottom dollar there's a quick shot from Kayla, and that one just went wide on the stick side. Kings recover in behind their own goal. Kyla with the partial intercept forces the pass. The secondary recovery by the Kings was good, but Hare picking it up off of the wall, in on goal. There's a drop in the slot, hard shot, whistles off the glass, in the slot, rebound on the side of the goal, and they nearly tucked it in, almost cutting the lead in half. Hare was right there, but just couldn't get his stick on it. Good defensive recovery by the Kings. And a tidy little backhand sends Evan Clark away for the Kings. Runs into a hard back check there from the Kings forward, and now it's sent back the other way as Upalo got back on the floor. Sent him up the wall. He's going to join him in support. Maybe a little bit of a cycle here. Looks towards the middle. Blind backhand finds Upalo. Long reach of the left shooting forward. Plays it back to the point for Rye. Rye on the near side for Upal. 75 seconds to go in the first period. Almec, who had that great chance earlier that just went off of the goaltender's glove and wide. Sadra Kang goes for a stick handle. Another left shooting forward, plays it over to Rye. Loads, sent it towards the goal. I think he was looking for deflection, and Almec gets there first. Upal battles forward in behind the goal. We're in the last minute of play. Upal, his man goes crashing to the corner as their sticks caught each other's feet, I think, for a moment on the near side. Dylan Sidor, his pass was hurried and it was broken up by Sadra Kang, who has Upal in the middle, but that was read very tidily by Evan Clark as he got in the middle. 30 seconds to go. Kings with possession in behind their goal. They'll work it off of the left side. Stretch pass. Finding a man in flight, and it's goal scorer Cole Senham who puts on the brakes. Right shooting forward. Good speed. Look at that little turn off the wall. Tries to backhand it across the slot. And that's broken up by the other number 8. And here they come on a 2-on-1 with Shakabreed on the far side, and a big save in between the pads and rolling over backwards, but still making the stop. And number 50 comes up big. Blake Tancock cutting the angle down. He came out to challenge perfectly, and they tried to put it between the wickets. And it's rather fitting that that nice stop at the end of the period is the last actionable event in that first period that ends 2-0 in the favor of the Kamloops Rivershore Kings. As we mentioned, a couple of really good plays by the Kings there in that first period. And Cole Senham with a great individual effort to score that goal to get them up by a pair here. Thought Andrew Fisher had a really strong period. Just all 200 feet of the surface. He was really good at breaking plays up and was also back on that 2-on-1. He knew to give his goaltender the shot, give him a good look, and he gave him enough of a look, and sure enough, Tancock comes up with the save at the end of the period, and he still has the still has things going for him here as we head into second period action. As we mentioned, you could certainly tell in our previous game between the Burnaby Blades and the Clappers Club of the men's B division that there was more on the line. You can see there's a little bit more of a relaxed milieu here inside the Frank Crane. As goaltender Tancock gets back to his crease, swapping ends here, a little bit different vantage point. Brandon Bondi. With those hard to miss lime green sneakers of his underneath those nice, I want to say that maybe they're Vaughn pads, but I can't tell for certain. But looks to me like they're Vaughn. I'd have to get a closer look, but they are very nice pads. And we are back underway here. Second period, and the BC Blackhawks, they'll start with possession. Basson up the near side wall. Calls for the ball. Here's the call on the other side of the floor. They want to move it. There's a shot from distance. Takes a deflection. Almec off of the corner. Now in behind the net. Try to backdoor Jamarama play there. That one doesn't go. But they still have possession. Trying to work out of the phone booth there is Ronak Chauhan. Good recovery by the Kings. Haynes to the far side. There's a shot, and that took a deflection as Almec played his defensive responsibility perfectly, and he gets back into position, helping to break up that play and get that deflection on the shot. There'll be a face-off now over to Brandon Bondi's left, and a forward line change here for the BC Blackhawks. Pooney coming out, Favaro, and number 12, Tyson Rye. Rye's been one of the bright spots here so far for the BC Blackhawks, but they trail by a pair. There's a pass up into the high slot. Favaro got his stick and then his foot in the way, and he breaks away. He does have one on the wing. Down he comes. He has room in on goal, and he puts it up over the shoulder. And that one right up where mom keeps the peanut butter, and a great shot on goal, and he makes it a 2-1 game. He cuts the lead in half, and the BC Blackhawks are back in this one. Naz Pooney did a good job of creating the decoy there on the left side. A very well played 2-on-1, and it benefits the BC Blackhawks. They've cut the lead in half. But doesn't seem to be too much panic here from this very organized group. Kamloops Rivershore Kings. There's the pass to the far side. Comes up to the point. Brandon Krauscher now to the near side, and a great ball working and a goal by Hayden Weeb as they move that ball like lightning. Jaden Russell with a really good pass. That first pass down to the right side, and the return feed was almost as impressive as that first one. And ultimately, Hayden Weeb was in perfect position, and he blows the doors off that one. As I mentioned, there would seem to be absolutely zero panic from the Rivershore Kings, and they just have the poise of a group that looks set to do some strong things in this men's B division. Rye playing it off the boards in behind goaltender, and now it's out to center. Hare on the wing. Ball was broken up initially there by Jaden Russell. There's a slap shot. Oh, what a bullet! And that one's up over the shoulder, and you can mark that one on the footage with 10:51 remaining in the second period. There was an absolute bullet shot off of that stick. And I'll tell you that for my money, that was probably one of the best looking shots we're going to see tonight. Luke Chakrabarti letting lightning out of the bottle. And he got all of that one-time pass as he just blows the doors off of that one. Not a lot for the goaltender to do there. He came across from left to right, and he had the bottom part of the net covered. But like all good goal scorers, Luke Chakrabarti putting it upstairs. Upal, little misplay there for a moment. Tried to backhand swat it out, but he just can't seem to get the ball to settle and get it past Jaden Russell, who's had a very strong game. There he is on the point, tries to play it towards the goal, and that's always a great place to funnel it as a defender. Ball is played to the near side wall. Paul. There's a shot. Oh, and that one might have been tipped in front off of Sadra Kang's shin pad. Goes down the left wall. Sadra Kang, he'll retrieve it now for the Blackhawks. 3-2. On the merits of that nice goal by Chakrabarti. Here's Hare. Ball is tipped in behind the Kings goaltender. Off of the glass. Sadra Kang. Nice pass on the wing to... There's a shot. Oh, and that one was deflected at the side of the goal. Cole Senham nearly getting his second of the game. Now from in behind the net. Here's a chance out in front. Oh, and Hare tried to pull it to his backhand, and he nearly beat him on the glove side. Great save as Tancock did well to track that one through the screen in front. Here's a chance, looking for the feed, and Sadra Kang had it knocked away from his stick. A backhand chance, goaltender's down, and now it's cleared around behind the net. Sadra Kang slows things down and gets it out of danger. Played to the middle, the Blackhawks with the ball. Almec on the run. As Upal in on the trail, feeds him. There's a shot through traffic, and that was off of the leg of Jaden Grant and wide, and that one takes it a strange hop out of play, and they are going to have a face-off now over to Tancock's left as he makes a few adjustments in the crease. And again, I wanted to send a shout-out to Troy Gladysdahl for inviting me here to join you guys here on the BC Ball Hockey YouTube channel. Friday night's all right for a tournament start, but I'll tell you, Saturday night's when things really get cooking. And we are indeed here as the day's coming to a close, both here at the Frank Crane and at the Nanaimo Ice Center, as the table gets set for semifinals and finals tomorrow here in this illustrious tournament in Nanaimo. Cross rink pass. Blackhawks still with control. Sent up top, Kyla shooting. There's a save off of the blocker. Tancock a little bit deep in his crease, but he's having a good look here as Kyla moves it to the far side, gets a return pass. Now he moves in over the blue. Feeds it to the corner. There's the shot. Oh, and that one deflected just wide, but I think that would have been in over underneath the blocker had it made it through. Great defensive play by number 88, Andrew Fisher, as I mentioned, in between periods, bang for buck. He's been one of the great players here for the Kings, and they have possession now. Now joining on the trail, there's a pass, and it had to be a bullet looking for Jaden Grant, who has it high slot. That's a good pass. Down low, stick handling room. Oh, and the shot just about put up over by Hayden Weeb, but a good stick defensively at the last moment. Almec defending from the corner. Carter watching play on the point for the Blackhawks, but now they're just going to drive the goal into the middle, and Almec's going to be the benefactor of that loose ball. Plays it off of the wall, and now joined by Rye. Almec wants to get off the floor. Rye shovels it behind the goal for Carter. Carter being watched closely by Jaden Grant. That pass was partially intercepted, and you could hear from up here Evan Clark groaning as that one was tipped. But he gets some help on the back end from Dylan Sador, who sends them back the other way, and the Kings have a chance now. That pass was cut out by Rye, and he'll flick it behind his goal off of the boards. Long pass for Pooney. To Rye. Pooney gets the drop. Navarro calling for it. There's a shot. Hot one off the blocker, but well stopped. Connor Tancock getting into good position. Has a quick look at his stick. It seems to be fine. There's a shot from distance. Rebound, and it's at the side of the goal, but Upal clearing that one. And he's so good at those hard outlet passes. He did send it down, and now there's room. Upal will give chase in behind the goal. Goaltender plays it on the backhand. That's Blake Tancock in behind his goal, out to center. Haynes There's a nice saucer pass to the side of the goal, but just running out of real estate. Hayden Weeb, he didn't quite have the handle on it, but it was a good vision there as the pass is put in the high slot, and it's a ripper. Rebound to the side of the goal, and that's knocked in on the rebound by Haynes. Good anticipation. And the Rivershore Kings able to restore that 2-goal lead that they established earlier. Ryan Haynes depositing the rebound after a hard shot went just wide, and so difficult for the goaltender to do anything about that. And Brandon Bondi, I think he got a piece of the initial shot. There's a hard pass from Upal, and it finds its target. There's the goal scorer, Luke Chakrabarty, and he's made his impact on the game so far. There's a run down the wing, in flight, into the middle, and a good last-second stick. And Hare will clear it partially, and he nearly was away. Here's a race for the ball, but I don't know if he's got enough left. Yes, he does. Hare finds the ball. He's got Upal with him. Feeds it to him. Off of the wall, having a look. Sharp angle. Tries to go across, and he finally puts it in. Upal on the pass from Hare, and that was just good, dedicated ball movement by the Blackhawks. They didn't give up. It looked like for a moment they were going to be dispossessed there as they hit the blue line, but Upal wasn't to be denied at the side of the goal. He made a couple of shimmies, a couple of shakes, and when he tried to put it low, it forced the goaltender to be down, covering the lower portion of the net, had his stick down, and of course the rebound, that long reach of Upal, and he pops it in. And we've got a 4-3 game, back to a 1-goal difference here with 4:14 remaining, second stanza. Sadra Kang off to Upal on the give and go, activates towards the goal. Now it's swung in, but that was intercepted in the high slot. And back the other way they come. On goal, a backhand chance, and Bondi covering the short side, doesn't let anything through. And now a hard backhand pass. Upal, he'll be the first one there in the King zone. Has a look, waiting for the trailer, but that's broken up and played out off the hand of Peyton Kelly. You could hear the call from cross court coming on off of the bench. There's the shot, and a great stick by Chakrabarty as he got in the middle of that shot. Ball is whipped around and wide of the goal by the Kings. Into the near side corner, out into the high slot. There's a shot that was blocked, and now Upal picks up the rebound, and he's away with Hare off of the wing. Hare, little button hook, plays it between the feet. And we've got a stoppage in play here with 2:53 remaining in this second period. And once again, want to say thank you for joining us here on the BC Ball Hockey channel here on YouTube for some great Saturday night action. Our previous game between the Burnaby Blades and the Clappers Club, it was almost an instant classic. It really went down to the wire, and this one's shaping up to be pretty much the same template as the Kings. Work it from behind the goal. They've had such good possession, though, into the high slot. Played to the point, fake shot on the near side, and that one was tipped and went wide of the goal. Good stick by the Blackhawks, and that was Kyla who got his stick in the road. Watching carefully as the play is in the far corner here. Protecting the ball with his body, Connor Milburn in front of the goal. He's got some help there in the form of Peyton Kelly into the slot. That shot rips wide of the goal. Parhar forces the play out towards the middle, and the Blackhawks intercept. It's 2-on-2 the other way. putting on the brakes, having a look to the other side. Connor Almick from Kyla. Connor Almick has a look back up to Mark Kyla. Tries to backhand it away from traffic, but Caden Sadrick-Kang can't complete that motion. And now there's a pass at the near side of the goal, and that one went wide. Not by a lot, though. Got a whistle and a stoppage in play here with 73 seconds remaining in the second period. Near air with Lorenzo Jensen and Alum. We're just cruising on through here, just doing some, good work up here in the gondola. Trying to keep you in tight here on the action. BC Ball Hockey League putting on a great display here in Nanaimo, and the traffic at the 3 different venues is a real testament as the Kings work it to the outside perimeter. Evan Clark tries to go through the legs of the Blackhawks defender. Gill gets it out. Rye on the backhand sweep. Pooney got a fortuitous tip. Finds it over his shoulder. Turns, has a look at the floor. Backhands it down low. Decides to go into the cycle formation. Backdoor pass, and it's a tied game as the Blackhawks with a last-minute strike. And Pooney did a great job selling the pass to the middle, but he backhands it down low, and the pass from the corner really was everything. And the BC Blackhawks, they just cannot be put away here as they've erased 1 and 2 goal deficits here, and they've now tied it. This is where things were late in the third period between the Blades and the Clappers Club. And once again, we have got a close, tight battle that's seen a couple of leads change hands. In on goal, there's a shot up high and not able to find the back of the net, Evan Clark, but he made a great run towards the goal. Found the rebound, and he played it off of the wall for Andrew Fisher. Paul breaks that up in behind the goal, and he gets them away safely. Up through the middle now comes Favaro. He's got Pooney on the drop, and he leaves it for him. Heads down below the goal line, and now Rye calling for the ball. Has a fortuitous bounce. He tried to put it across. Maybe should have shot there. And now Sadrick Kang, he knows the time has run out on the period, and he got some help from the bench. I think he was scared. He just puts his hand on his chest like, guys, you scared me. Thought you were trying to tell me someone was going to steal it or do something with it, or maybe was going to be offside. But no matter, as the Blackhawks do the damage that they need to in the final moments, the last 40 seconds of the period there, the second period, and they get this game tied up. The Rivershore Kings, they've just been full value for the lead most of the game, but the Blackhawks with some good work, especially from the near side corner, as they were going in on goal against the Kings, and they were able to beat Tancock with that nice cross crease pass on the back door. Not to be denied, the BC Blackhawks continue to fight for every inch here and had a very strong second period. I thought that they were, maybe it didn't start that way, but they certainly finished as the stronger of the two teams in that period, and they've salvaged a tie so far, and you can hear the bench laughing and just joking around right now. As I mentioned, the tension not quite as high for this game, not to take anything away from the competition level that we're seeing, but as it stands, the BC Blackhawks, they've done enough to make sure that the Moonshiners cannot reach up and steal their position. And so this game is, for all intents and purposes, an aesthetic one, as opposed to necessary for points to make it into the semifinals tomorrow. And as mentioned, I will be here tomorrow morning starting at 8 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time for our YouTube viewers that will be able to join us 8 o'clock and 9:30 for the first two games in the morning, and then starting at 2 o'clock, I'll be here in the afternoon, and I'm sure Alum and Nathan will be here as well to help carry you through for some finals action tomorrow afternoon, starting here at Frank Crane, and that's when things are really going to hit a fever pitch. But I can tell you that right now the ball hockey's been pretty good from where we are perched right now here in the Frank Crane Arena, and a very sportsmanlike ball drop there. The Kings gain possession. Here's a chance right out of the gate. Jaden Grant headed towards the goal, but that was steered away. And a good break up there on the back end. The Blackhawks defense has been pretty strong here today. Sadra Kang, he's been very involved in just moving very, very slowly here, having a look down floor. And calls to move the ball, but yes, the clock is ticking. And the Blackhawks very trepidatiously move the puck to center, but they get it in. Hayer was headed towards the goal. And Chakrabarty, one of the goal scorers, plays it back to the point. Into the middle. Luke Chakrabarty takes a swat at that one, but he was right there with Jaden Grant. And Grant, near side shot from Hayer, that forces a left pad save. And good reaction time by Tancock. Ball is played out, but not all the way out. Good back check by Hayer. He's had a strong game. It seems to get strengthened as the game moves on here. Cross court pass. Andrew Fisher in on the inside, looking for the backdoor tip past the prone goaltender. And Brandon Bondi, he was able to just get the pad down, did enough, and his defense took care of the rest. The Blackhawks defense has been strong here this evening. There's a good steal, though. Poked away by Tristan Allen, and he moves the ball down floor. Evan Clark takes a shot, picks up the rebound out of the corner, has one in the slot, and he couldn't get it through. Sadra Kang, and he makes a nice pass. Here's a potential 2-on-1. Chakrabarty tried to play it between the defender's legs, and he just couldn't quite get it through. Good recovery by Cole Senham, who has not only a goal, but a couple of very important defensive plays here. Look at that little give and go he orchestrates. Dylan Sador was right in tune with what he was doing there on the give and go. Now he sets up down below the goal line. Now activating is Cole Senham towards the net. Takes Hayer with him from the Blackhawks. Keeping a close eye as they try and move around, opening things up on the cycle. Sadra Kang finds the ball. Got a little bit of help, and he runs it to the near side at center. Luke Chakrabarty is going to shift off. Sadra Kang takes his time, weaves towards center, waiting for help. And now he has it. Upal activates on the right side. Just about 10 minutes now left in the third period. We're all tied up at 4s. On the counterattack come the Kings down the wing. Harrison Ewart into the high slot. Tried to get the return pass, and a diving goaltender. He lost his blocker and his stick. Diving out. Brandon Bondi, as he moved from his left to his right, stayed with the shooter. Stayed right with him. Dove across. And his blocker and his stick go flying, but the play is stopped, and he does exactly enough to make sure that this game still remains tied up. Looks like maybe his pad had been knocked a little bit off kilter there. Had to readjust that, and he'll readjust his helmet in this small delay. Might have had a little bit of, obviously, potentially some contact with his head while he went down. So the referee's doing their part, making sure that the goaltender's okay. He looks pretty alert, looks pretty good, and looks good to continue here as a couple of players on the Blackhawks bench give their sticks a tap, saying thank you for staying strong in the crease, Brandon. Referee's satisfied that he's back into game shape. And there'll be a face-off to Bondi's right. Harrison Ewart takes it from off the face-off, tried to go low, and on the secondary shot, he gets his own rebound. Such soft hands in tight. Harrison Ewart, as not only did he get that nice little backhand away, he was trying to get the goaltender to open up the legs, but he got the stick down. Quick hands by Ewart, and he gets his own rebound. And the Kings have jumped out in front yet again. They did hold a 2-goal lead at one point. Almec didn't know where that ball was. He was trying to apologize to his winger, but he couldn't find the ball. Now it's dumped into his zone. Kyla, he'll pick up the ball, though. Feeds Gill on the left side. Has a look, cuts back. That pass was tipped. Getting a small piece of it was Haynes. There's a shot. Easy right pad save for Bondi. And the Blackhawks are away quickly. Carter on the near side, but trying to go right down Main Street. Running into a little bit of obstruction there. Offered to help to his feet, but sometimes when you're the player that's been knocked down, you don't necessarily always want to accept that helping hand. But Ronak Shohan looks okay to go on. Haynes, he has one here in this contest. One of the 5 markers for the Rivershore Kings. He loads and he blasts that one high on the stick side. Maybe only a couple inches high, though, over Brendan Bondi's blocker side. 4-man scrum along the far side boards. A couple of players waiting, and things got a little too close for comfort there as Pooney loses a glove in that exchange and his stick. Referee stops play. And I think they might both be headed to, or maybe at least one penalty anyways. No, that's my initial instinct was correct. They're both going to go for roughing, and it looks like interference. But either way, it looks like they're coincidentals. We've got 8:21 remaining here in the Frank Grant in the men's B division. And the very interesting thing about this contest is that both teams have basically punched their ticket through to the semis by virtue of their play already in this round robin. But they are certainly sharpening the tools in the toolkit here. Shot on goal, stopped by Bondi. Pokes it to Kyla, who has Gill with him. But Haynes closes down a little bit on Gill. Gill, a nice little move to open things up, and he feeds the near side for Carter. Carter has a look over his shoulder. He knows Rye is coming. Tries to put it into his feet, but it is collected by the BC Blackhawks. Oh, and that was a giveaway pass. Kyla might have lost his footing, but that pass from Almec was off the mark, played towards the blue line. Referee, you can hear him up here saying to play on, as Harrison Ewart jumped up to try and knock the ball down with his glove. Pass on the near side as the Blackhawks set up. Carter. Sadra Kang took a shot. That one hooked up a little high on him. Almec trying to run down his man on the far side. Jaden Grant's pretty fast, though, but he did finally, with some help, slow him down, got the ball, and back they come. Carter activates towards the goal. Rye is on the near side. There's the shot. Rebound, but it bounced away from the oncoming Carter, but Rye intercepts that breakout pass on the drop. Favaro sends it across. A little bit of room. They would do well to move in and get a shot here, but they elect for the tip pass. High slot. Favaro shooting. There's a glove save. Actually, no, wait. I think that was the defender that got in front of that one. And he sort of laughs as he shakes that one out, but that was Jaden Grant getting that block there. His goaltender didn't need to touch it. As Tancock looks on, he's at the top of the blue semicircle. Shot, and that one whistles wide on his stick side. Played back to Rye. Right shooting defender here loads up. His captain gets the ball in return. There's a snapshot, and that one missed on the stick side. That nice black true goal stick being wielded by number 50, Blake Tancock, as the ball is moved down into BC Blackhawks territory. Quick breaks by Connor Milburn, but the pass was deflected out near center, and that's going to require another venture out here by the Rivershore Kings. They feed it on the near side for Regan Milburn. Off the wall for Peyton Kelly. Kelly has a look, defers to the wing. Into the middle, that one takes a bounce. Comes towards the near side wall once again. The Kings off of the wall. There's a spin move by Regan Milburn into the middle, and he was looking to hook up with Connor Milburn, who had his stick tied up at the last second by Favaro. Played behind the goal, and Favaro will meet the ball on the near side, and it looks like he's got a little bit of time, but he can't lollygag too long. Feeds the wing, as he had Regan Milburn coming back on the back check. Speaking of back check, there's a good one by Jaden Grant as he breaks it up and dispossesses the Blackhawks forward, and he sends his troops away. Connor Milburn on the drop, gets the return in tight, puts it across floor, and that one was broken up. Regan Milburn had a little bit of time. Speaking of time, just over 4.5 minutes to go. It's a 1-goal game, but the sense of urgency a little different, as these clubs know that there's nothing that's going to eliminate them in this tournament and this particular game, so they're trying to take care of everything neat and tidy as the ball is flipped in by number 47, Regan Milburn. Goes for a little run behind the goal. A left shooting forward, setting up, tried to go across the floor to Cole Senham, who has a goal, but not this time. That's intercepted by Cedric Kang, and he has a look down the floor, a potential 2-on-1 if they hurry. As Chakrabarty is going in on goal, he couldn't quite get a clean stick on it. Sends it cross floor for Hare, who turns to meet it. A right shooter, but that aerial pass was intercepted, and it's brought back by Peyton Kelly. This line might be tired, though. They've been back and forth a couple of times here. There's the drop into the high slot, and that one just rolled off of the stick of the Kings, and back they come. Upal, and he's got Chakrabarty in the middle, off of the wing. Now he finds him in the middle, load, shoots. Oh, and he was trying to finesse it top corner, and they both roll their heads back. That was a good opportunity and a great shot by Luke Chakrabarty, who has a goal already. As he looks skyward, he had that one labeled for the top corner on the glove side. Into the high slot. That's broken up by the Blackhawks. There's a little chip pass. Upal, though, it's off on the wing, so he's going to have to cut hard. He has one joining him in the middle, though. Into the middle. Shot on goal. Rebound, and is put off of the glove. Into the corner it goes. Another shot off of the helmet. Rebound is loose, and that's cleared to the corner. Peyton Kelly gets there first. The Blackhawks with a good chance. Now it's played into the middle. A couple of quick passes. Another one, maybe one too many. That's broken up. Now here's a potential breakaway for Upal. In on goal, holds back and forth, scores! And Upal takes it from his backhand to his forehand, and he's got a loud cheering section over in the far side of the rink, over to the right of goaltender Brandon Barty. And now both of those penalized players step out of the box. Those coincidental minors, they're actually waiting a long time because of that rule where they've got to wait for play to stop. And as I mentioned, there was two full runs down the floor by the Rivershore Kings, and that double Milburn line it seemed like they were ageless out there, and they had a good opportunity, but that back and forth passing with Tristan Allen and Connor Milburn, it finally came to a stop, and they found Upal on the breakaway pass, and he made no mistake on the deke move as he ties this game up, and it's kind of fitting. This game is almost fit for one of those. Off of the wing, though, the Kings into the high slot, off his boot, backhand, and that's a great save off of the stick. Brandon Bondy made a good save there to keep this game locked up at 5. Face off over to the right of Brandon Bondy. Ball was loose there for a moment. Hare had it into the slot. Here's a chance for the Kings. Shot on goal, and that one's ripped just up over the shoulder. Andrew Fisher just putting it up high, but they have another chance from the sharp angle here. Into the slot, shot on goal, good save off of the glove. Rebound, and another one up off of the outside of the post. And I think the goaltender Bondi wants some help here. There's a wind-up shot, and that one also found the bar. Deflects just wide. It's a shooting gallery now for the Kings. Loading shot. There's a save off the crest, and it's into the pads, and the goaltender, beleaguered as he has been, he makes the stop and he gets the whistle. Now just 1:22 remaining here in this third period between the BC Blackhawks and the Kamloops Rivershore Kings. Alum and I are very happy to have you along here on the BC Ball Hockey YouTube channel for tonight's battle here. And here's more room, more real estate, and another shot on goal. And the Blackhawks, I don't know if they're just trying to get a couple of charges out of giving their goaltender some extra duties here, but as I mentioned, there's an air of aloofness here. There's the drop and a blocker save, rebound, and it's a shooting clinic, a shooting gallery, and the Blackhawks finally concede the goal as the ball was given many opportunities to come off of the pads and the goal stick of goaltender Brandon Bondi. And the BC Blackhawks, it has to be said, they're pretty loosey-goosey tonight for this game. But as I mentioned, it's a lot different schematic when there's no potential elimination on the line. And that's why the somewhat lackadaisical attitude. And both teams, they don't want to pull any hamstrings. They don't want to jar any Achilles tendons or anything like that. In this last minute, they're going to do the sportsman-like thing and just run this time down. But they do have to satisfy the time clock, and I guess they are going to just call it a day. And something was said out on the floor that I can't repeat up here, but basically, forget about it is basically what they said for the last couple of seconds. And you can still see the clock ticking down, but the referees are purely fine with this, and they know the stakes in this one as the BC Blackhawks have a couple of laughs at their goaltender's expense, but Brandon Bondi seems to be a pretty good sport about it all. I'm not sure if you saw a couple of the gestures there, fans, but after that little shooting gallery, kind of shrugged his shoulders and lifted his glove up like, hey, can I get some help in the kitchen here? But certainly a good showing by both these teams today, and some great sportsmanship on display as they don't want to injure themselves or each other heading into tomorrow's action. They want to be fresh. They want to be as fresh as they can be during a round-robin tournament. You certainly don't want to invite injury. And both teams played well enough to get a W here tonight in almost any other circumstance. But the final, as the Kamloops Rivershore Kings complete a very successful opening round with a 6-5 victory over the BC Blackhawks. As I mentioned, not as much on the line as the previous game, which sent the Clappers Club out of the round-robin play and any chance for the semifinals for tomorrow. But these teams, as they line up on their blue lines and get their final handshakes in with the referees, they'll announce the player of the game from each side, and then they will probably celebrate a little bit, enjoy each other's fellowship in the change room. And just like that, Andrew Fisher, as I mentioned, he was really the straw that stirred the drink for this club. And several players that it could have been for the BC Blackhawks, but Balkaran Upal, that beautiful breakaway goal that he scored, was just one of the things that he did really well tonight. And as I mentioned, he and Sadra Kang Both did a great job of moving that ball out of their own end, and they can certainly feel good about the way that their team played tonight. And smiles all around, though, as both these clubs know that they will be sticking around and they will be seeing some action in the semifinal round for tomorrow. And just a great all-around climate here, or aura, I guess you could say. So much sportsmanship here tonight, and sometimes when you call ice hockey and other sports like lacrosse for a good number of years, you really know when you get some special contests. And these two teams are very well suited for each other, and that 6-5 scoreline showed just exactly how good these two teams are tonight. I'm Lorenzo Jensen, and your camera operator and scoreboard operator, that's Alum. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the YouTube channel. We are going to be back first thing in the morning, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for more BC ball hockey action, and it's going to be in the elimination rounds. We'll see you in less than 12 hours. Have a great night, everyone.
Perfect. I need to go interview one of these guys.
Yeah, good stuff.
They didn't want to be interviewed, but after that lackluster of a game, I am forced to interview it.